Take control of the rallies with BF Goodrich tires.
Take control.
Welcome to Argentina and round 6 of the World Rally Championship. We are live at the Cordoba Stadium for the second of 3 stadium super specials that feature in this rally. But this second stadium run was supposed to cap the celebrations at the end of the opening day proper of the Rally Argentina. Sadly, there's been no action today due to a logistical nightmare, the likes of which Sebastian Loeb had an inkling about. Yesterday's super special opener was in Buenos Aires at the River Plate Stadium, the football stadium there. All went well until after the event, when the entire rally had to then move the 400 miles northwest towards Cordoba, where we are now, for leg 1 of the rally. Sadly, the planes were held up due to torrential, how they were keeping up with each other. Well, here it's going to be Munchies against Stobart. Juan Pablo Reyes, there he is in the Munchies machine with Perez Companc. It's Joris Perez Companc, brother of Luis, the driver of the number 11 car. Joris Perez Companc co-driving Juan Pablo Reyes of Argentina, of course. All the Perez Compancs are indeed Argentinian. So expect, as per yesterday, I'll be bound, that you will indeed see the cameras loving the Argentines, perhaps more than we would expect or hope for, I should say. 22-year-old Jari Matti Latvala, co-driven by Mika Antila. There's consistent points in Portugal, consistent times, I should say. And Jari, unfortunately for him, dropping 3 places in that incident regarding the thin rear window. More on that in a moment. And eventually finished 9th. Should have finished 6th, he says. And well, you have to have some sympathy with that. So away they go. This 2.4 kilometer circuit, and it's very, very slippy, as you can see. Well, this is what Argentina's all about, of course. Unpredictable surfaces, very, very slick. The Finns usually love this sort of thing. But the Argentines, well, they ran so well yesterday in Buenos Aires. I expect to see Juan Pablo Reyes setting a decent benchmark time for us right here. Slick in places. It just depends on where the stadium roofs actually fit. And as you can see, there's already just a little bit kicked out. No roof on this one in Cordoba. Yesterday in Buenos Aires, a little bit of dampness in some parts. Others were a little bit drier. Well, expect a reasonable time to be around about the sort of 2 minutes mark, I should think. There's a second split for us, and as if by magic, 52.7 seconds. It's a quick one. Splits 2, and of course the final one, they do 4 circuits, if you like, away from each other. The Stobart machine of Latvala looking nice and comfortable here. We saw a couple get into the barriers yesterday, the kind of concrete and straw affairs, sandbags as well, as you can see. And sandbags of plenty will be needed, you can be sure of that, with the weather conditions that we have. Absolutely torrential yesterday, and it's what's bumped the schedule back. So action certainly on this, which was supposed to be day 1 proper. Finally we have something to show you. No highlights, of course, of the day, because it was all about logistics. So 4th split there. In fact, they will be coming round for the final time, and it will be about 2:10, I should imagine. Here we come then. It's the Munchies machine. Juan Pablo Reyes trying to find some grip, just gets it off the corner. Timing lines approaching rapidly. Well, lovely smooth final curve there for him. And a benchmark time. Red hot exhaust lighting up the night here, and in fact they're just drifting a little bit beyond what time we thought they would. It is actually very, very slick out there, as we said. The rain really has caused some puddling there. They're finally going to meet together and come back to the timing lines in front of the stadium here, and it really has eaten into it, has it not? 2:32.9 is our benchmark. Latvala gets it. So Latvala's time. Reyes just proved that it's not nepotism, but in fact good quality driving that means he is here. He's a very quick driver, Matthew Wilson, and you can expect him to feature a lot higher up the board than he has done. on a number of occasions. He's settling in, and we're loving watching him as well. Quickly away goes the Munchies machine of Luis Perez Companc. And they'll be staying with him for the moment. And, well, we saw a couple losing the back end yesterday. But just look at the fight that's going on here to try and maintain traction. Well, it's going to be changeable conditions right the way through the Pampas when we finally get up there. And don't forget, altitude also plays a part. And when you have really high altitude, and a couple of these super specials are indeed over 2,000 meters, that's well over 6,000 feet, then reduced oxygen means reduced horsepower. And the key, according to Sebastian Loeb, is just to maintain momentum, and you can see that absolutely true here as well. Last thing you want to do is get bogged down, and well, good braking efforts as well by Luis Perez Companc, beautifully switching out the rear end. Matthew Wilson looks like he's on song here as well. That was so beautifully judged, that curve, hugging the inside line absolutely perfectly, letting the back end do all of the work in terms of setting the car up. And he's having a good run here. 2:32.9 is the target time, and we've got about the halfway stage now. Plenty of work still to do. Well, maiden points last time out here, and a tremendous run by him. His Stobart teammate, Jari-Matti Latvala, we saw just a moment ago, retired out of Argentina, so he knows it can bite while he was running in 2005 in Group N. So wary you have to be, but also you have to attack it. Cold and icy it can be high up in the hills, and 25 river crossings are out there as well, don't forget. So there's plenty to catch the drivers out. The fourth split, and we'll wait for them to come round once more in front of the main stadium. And a terrific crowd has turned up here, and you can see where the cheap seats end and the expensive ones begin, can you not? Spare seats on the pricey stuff, just by the barriers which marks the dividing line. Great to see them pouring out, though. They've come back down out of the hills. They were waiting in the valleys. Punilla, Calamuchita and the Tra La Sierra. Unfortunately, they're going to have to wait a bit longer. It'll be tomorrow now. And they're not going to beat Lavala's time. 2:34 dead for Perez Companc. And Matty Wilson finishing a second down on that time. Actual obligations, but one suspects it may well have had something to do with Chris Atkinson's performance so far. He's not been up there with it. Great start to the season, don't forget. He picked up 5 points, finishing just off the podium in fourth spot in Monte Carlo at the season opener. But since then, point scoring on only 2 other occasions in Sweden and Mexico, Norway and Portugal eluding him. As for Henning Solberg, only came 7th here back in 2006. We know he can do it. Henning, of course, one of those Ford drivers who suffered because of that rear window infringement in Portugal, dropping 2 places to 11th there, and not happy about it at all. Well, a conjecture as to whether Chris Atkinson will stay at Subaru. Said he's committed to them, and they've said, ooh, bruising there. They've said they're committed to him as well. Well, he's clearly on it here. Wants to do well, needs to. 6th quickest in the River Plate Stadium, so he's going to be up there most certainly. And if he keeps on going like this, well, he may lose just a little bit of time with sticking in. But yesterday we saw some bouncing off the curves and setting decent times, and Chris Atkinson was one of those. 3rd year in the World Rally Championship top draw, and everyone seems to want the Australian to be part of the package. Always good news to have an Aussie on board. A lot of sales of machinery goes on in the Antipodes. Henning Solberg, class act as he is, the kind of quieter of the brothers, quieter than Petter, but Henning is the older brother and just as determined. Terrific rallying heritage, their family as well. Both mum and dad national champions, of course, together. And incidentally, they've never ever got rid of their machinery. They keep everything in a barn in Norway. So all their car collections of old they have. So Henning doing well. Chris Atkinson, a lot of questions being asked as to whether he is in talks with Suzuki or about to step up to full WRC status. Well, lots of denials flying around, but then all of a sudden Glenn McNeil walks, and it just makes you wonder. It's not a settled environment, it seems, for Chris Atkinson. Maybe things will settle down if he gets the result here, with Stefan Prevost guiding him round, the Belgian. So what will be the time? 2:32.9 is the target. And you've just got a feeling that Chris Atkinson is going to better that. Let's take a look. No, he doesn't. 2:33.2. And Pedder, 3.3, Henning, I beg your pardon, 3.3 seconds adrift, particularly due to very, very adverse weather conditions, which has filled up all of those rivers, 25 river crossings indeed, which they will face when they get out there. So nightmare scenario. There's 9 coaches, 80 cars, 124 transporters and 3 planes got stuck coming to the Cordoba region. And as a result, we had to effectively cancel today's exterior proceedings and come into the stadium for this solitary event today. There will be 2 legs only to this rally, effectively. Well, Urbanen said it's like driving on the moon in Argentina. In 4th in 2004. And the way he's driving at the moment this year, Urbanen, you wouldn't bet against him. Certainly up there with the best when he needs to be. And look at that for car control. Flame powered, it seems. 2:32.9 still stands from Jari-Matti Latvala in the Stobbard Ford. Will Mikko Urbanen or Manfred Stoll beat that? Stoll on his 10th run in Argentina. 4th here in 2006. And a good team on board here with Eike Meinert. And the time, 2:31.7. Urbanen does it for us. 2:31.7 is our new benchmark, and Stoll over 2.5 seconds off that pace. 2:31.7, tremendous age, and a lot of questions being asked about whether he will be here at the end of the season. Maybe this is his swan song. Well, being demoted a couple of places in Portugal didn't help really his mood, although he did win Argentina in 2003. It's his 8th run. Sebastian is actually after a hat-trick of victories, having won here in 2005 and 2006, and he was quickest in the shakedown, ominously. So just watch out for Sebastian. There's Marcus and Timo Raitanen. Danny Elena co-driving for Sebastian. Well, Marcus second behind Mikko Urbanen, who's just sent the benchmark time in Buenos Aires. I wonder if he can get the better of him here in Cordoba. We will wait and see. They're away. The noise absolutely tremendous here in Cordoba. May need to be 2.4 kilometers, but the audience here can see every single meter of it. Uninterrupted views, and it's why the Super Specials have become so popular. 3 of them booked for Argentina. And you have to say, thank goodness they had one here, an intermediate Super Special, because otherwise we'd have had no action at all on this day due to the logistical problems of getting here all the way from Buenos Aires. It really was a tall order. Sebastian Loeb said you could come unstuck, and so we did today. Well, we're running now. Sebastian looking slightly ragged. He doesn't push overly hard on these stadium runs. Marcus Gronholm, totally the opposite, you have to say. And we'll pick him up now. Here he comes. Well, he looks slightly ragged on the entry there. Has he lost a tyre? Just having a look on the inside. Has he lost a tyre? Just have a look. Oh no, he's still keeping it together. My eyes deceiving me. Forgive me about that. That's where I was looking. Well, everything seems fine and in order. We'll see how their speeds, what their speeds are like as they come round again for the next split. That was a super jump by Gronholm. Taking a jump sideways takes a lot of bravery. Car really destabilised. I just thought he'd lost the tyre from the rim. Not a bit of it. Both on Goodrich, of course. Rallye will be taking over duties fairly shortly. 142.9 at the fourth split for Loeb. They're getting quick out there. Little stall there, a little stutter halfway through that curve for Sebastian. Back end just missing the wall. Thankfully leaving our cameras in place. Great dramatic action, taking that one wider than most as he found a different line through. Loeb. Target time 2:31.7. Irvinen holds it. He was the quickest in Buenos Aires. Who will be the king here in Cordoba? We're about to find out. Seconds ticking away, less than 10 to go now. And the timing line's approaching. Loeb versus Gronholm. Marcus slightly ragged. There's Sebastian, 2:33.1. Well, way down on the time set by Mikko Irvinen, and it'll be Mikko that gets the best run. Former production World Rally champion. PWRC cars, all by their safety cages, etc. Safety elements as near as damn it to the cars that you or I could buy in the showroom, all by the safety features and a few modest changes just to make sure they can not break them. Christian Solberg then, currently leading due to his superior form, consistency, you could say. 2-third finishes, once in Sweden, once in Mexico. The only 2 rounds so far give him 12 points. Toshi Arai coming home second in Mexico, with only 3 points scored in Sweden. He's just a point adrift. Winner in Sweden was Svendlund, and of course our friend Higgins in Mexico. Oh, just finding a divot there, getting a kick-off. Happy with it, Arai. 21 production World Rally cars in this rally. It's one of 6 rounds where they will be scoring championship points. And so a lot at stake here. Toshi, perhaps the more experienced of the two, and he finished 10 places higher in Buenos Aires in the first Super Special than Christian Solberg. Risto Pietiläinen co-driving for Christian, and of course Tony Sercombe, the Australian, teaming up with Toshi Arai. Well, we've got a few of the PWRC boys out here today, and one of those you're going to see is Niall McShane, former champion back in 2004. He's racing again, the 34-year-old from Northern Ireland, and it's great to see him back and competitive, filling in, or taking, I should say, the drive of Anton Allen, who went off to Fiat. So the Lukoil team rang up Niall and said, fancy it? He said, you betcha. And it's great to see him back. He and Gordon Noble will be out on your screens live in just a wee while, if we have enough time to see everybody. For now, though, it's Arai and Solberg. No relation to the Solbergs. The H gives it away. And running on Yokohama's Solberg, Toshi. Looking comfortable. Oh, just back-ending it. Very, very gently. All right. And has he got Arai I didn't mean that, but let's just see whether that has caused him any kind of problems. And the way down these two, you'd expect it's a different class entirely, but 2:41.5 for a Rallye, and he held on to it there. Well, 0.2 quicker than Christian Solberg. Toshi sending the production class a light, perhaps. Matti Latvala did have the best time for such a long time out there, 2:32.9. The current benchmark belongs to Mikko Irvinen, who won the Buenos Aires stage out there. And the 45 car of Mirko Baldacci. San Marino giving the crowd something to think about. He's up against Fumio Nutahara on a Mitsubishi Lancer. As we just remind ourselves of what's just passed by. Toshi Arai looked good, didn't he? Toshi currently second behind Solberg. They've 1 and 2 in the standings. So next up, it's Fumio Nutahara and Mirko Baldacci. And the crowd really have been entertained this evening. So Mirko Baldacci it is in the Subaru Impreza against the Mitsubishi Lancer of Fumio Nutahara. Fumio has Daniel Barrett alongside him. The Brit. There he is. Pretty flag. And Giovanni Agnesi sits co-driving for Mirko Baldacci. Well, Fumio Nutahara finished just 0.9 slower than Niall McShay yesterday. Niall finishing 14th in the overall rankings, which is a great result. Baldacci 18th, and they're underway here. Well, Sardinia was the testing ground for the big WRC teams. Budgets, of course, and constraints often holding back some of the less wealthy teams, and so you do have to come here with reference to your notes from years gone by. And for Fumio Nutahara, Mirko Baldacci, it's always going to be a tough task racing somewhere so far away from the main central focus, if you like. World Rally Championship does get around the globe. It's a long stretch for some of the production class guys, and they do travel, don't they? Sweden, Mexico, back down here to Argentina. It's great to see them contesting and really pushing these near standard cars right to the limit. And if you've got the money and the skills, well, you never know, you could join them. Incidentally, no Gigi Galli, the Italian, and Amont Racing have withdrawn from 2007 rallying. They were on the podium here in 2006, remember Gigi Galli, great Italian entertainer, and of course huge Italian contingent to the Argentine population. And unfortunately they won't be cheering on Gigi in this rally. Money's got the better of them. It's a funding problem for Amont Racing, and they've pulled out for 2007, so a real shame, because we loved watching Gigi in action. Oh, dearie me, just almost driving up. If you do that too much, you're going to flip the car. And Mirko Baldacci steadies himself down just a little bit, tacks the next corner though, stung into action, the adrenaline coursing through his veins. And well, a good time would be around about 2:42 for these boys, but you suspect he may well be on the drift after that error. We will see. Saw a couple of error-strewn performances yesterday in Buenos Aires, and we're expecting the time to really have drifted away from them. Quite often it seemed that It just proved that they were right on the metal and got a good time as a result. Let's have a look at this. 2:39.6. See what I mean? Baldacci, superb. Well, more than getting the better of Toshi Arai, and in fact finishing 2 seconds, just under 2 seconds quicker than Toshi's time. That was very good by Baldacci and proves exactly what we were saying. It may have looked a bit ragged, but boy, oh boy, was he carrying it, cutting the course short there. And lucky to get away with that. He could well have rolled. Nutahara, much more sober run by him. Quick though as well. Well, the skills of these rally drivers, rarely seen in such close-up by so many people. Now, the Super Specials have really found a place in the World Rally Championship, and well, they've been a saviour today, you have to say, after the problems earlier on with moving everything from Buenos Aires, which has meant there's been no action today. Just to remind everybody, of those of you who may be joining us a little bit late. Juha Hanainen then in the 36 car, Mitsubishi Lancer. Again, it's Mitsubishi against Subaru. It's been that way, has it not, for so many years now. It's Mikko Makula driving, co-driving for Juha Hanainen. Chris Patterson, the Brits, and his old mate Nasser Al-Attiyah. Well, the Qatari Al-Attiyah, such a tremendous talent, be it rally raiding or indeed rallying proper. He really does have so many skills, and it extends beyond the world of cars as well, don't forget. As we look at the Lancer of Juha Hanainen. Yes, Al-Attiyah is actually an Olympic standard clay pigeon shooter. So not only can he get there quickly, he can deliver the shots in or out of the car, it seems. And of course he is the reigning production World Rally Championship champion. Al-Attiyah loves a little bit of slick as well. Particularly likes the soft stuff, which is where he started rally raiding. Really got his head round the dunes at an early age, as you'd expect, in the deserts of Qatar, incidentally. Nicely done. Sets the car so well. Very busy driver as well. Often a little bit guilty of pushing just a little bit too hard, particularly in Dakar rally racing. Raiding, if as they call it in France. Oh, nicely done. Just keeping the front end nice and tight for Juha Hanainen, and looks half decent. Just finds a little divot, holds it together. Looks so smart, does it not, in that sort of graphite silver. One of the nicest looking cars out there. And the new, of course, Lancer Evo 10. Out there, the X machine, the tempt us all. And Subaru sell a few cars as well, hardly surprisingly. Great value, top end, rally bred and developed, and in your hands for not an inordinate amount of money. Far easier to get into than some of the GT cars that are out there. Value for money. Tremendous. So the timing. Lights about to be broken here. Hanainen in the Mitsubishi. And here comes Al-Attiyah. And braking just a little bit coming into that one, and it's a slow time, it seems, by these two. 2:43.3 for Hanainen. And over 4 seconds down for Al-Attiyah, who didn't have the best of runs there. He won't be pleased with that at all. Well, nowhere near Toshi Arai's time, or indeed Mirko Baldacci, who brilliantly set a class time 2:39.6. Tremendous stuff. Baldacci's 7th in the championship. No points scored in Sweden, but Mexico finished in 4th spot. Solid 5th. Not going to see Travis Pastrana tonight, which is a bit of a shame, because the showboat boy from Texas really does love thrilling the crowds, the X Games, etc. First man, of course, to do a double backflip on a motocross bike. Unbelievable. So next up, it's Gabriel Pozzo, and you'll hear the cheers here, and he's up against our very own Niall McShay. And great to see Niall back with us, 34 years of age, and he's driving alongside Gordon Noble. Mario Stilo and Gabriel Pozzo are in the other car. So the Subaru is the Brit affair. And the Mitsubishi Lancer in blue is Gabriel Pozzo and Mario Stilo. It's the Automo Club de Argentina, ACA, helping him out. They've aided a number of teams here. Great to see Niall McShay back, though. 2004 production class champion, and then kind of just ran out of money. Blamed his dad for not being rich. Tongue-in-cheek, of course. Had a one-year hiatus last year after running in the Brit Series the year before, and just couldn't string the money together, unfortunately. But when Anton Allen left for Fiat, the Lukoil team said, "Fancy a run?" And he said, "Thank you very much indeed." So Argentina against Great Britain. Won't dwell too much on that, but the crowds always love to give the Brits a bit of a kicking. And the Ulsterman, Niall McShay, love to do something well. He had a stunning run, Niall, in Buenos Aires, 14th quickest overall. So he really did step up a class, if you like. But unfortunately, it's going to be Gabriel Pozzo and the Mitsubishi Lancer that hogs proceedings here. As far as the cameras are concerned, naturally enough, they're going to follow round the Argentine. But Niall pushing as hard as he might out there without getting it silly, and he's going to have a great starting position tomorrow, you can be sure of that. And they finally start rallying proper here in Argentina. Nice curve, beautifully done by the Argentine, and then just gets it a little bit wrong, over-braking it. Got good and close there, though. And there, our first real look at the Subaru of McShay and Noble. Kind of a ninja design with flames painted across it, or is it a lightning strike? And will it strike twice, as it did in Buenos Aires? He was super there. What will he do here in Cordoba? Got to be handy, surely. We'd love him to be. Class time to beat, 2:39.6. And the timing lights about to be broken here. Round they come. Oh, little correction there. Through the curve. 2:40.6 for McShay. Good effort by Niall, and in fact just 1 second down on Mirko Baldacci's class time in this one, and guided off. You're going to see an awful lot more of Niall, and well, the highlights programs, don't forget them each evening, and of course on Sunday evening we have the final super special run for you as well, live here on Eurosport 2, just to sort of top proceedings off, and proceedings are what we hope we will get. They're in the right place now, all the cars, drivers and everybody, which is why you're seeing them in action. They just arrived that little bit late to take part today after torrential weather conditions just halted the move from Buenos Aires overnight. Next up, we got Marcus Legato and Federico Viagra. It's an all-Argentina affair, and it's two Tango rally teams, both in Mitsubishi Lancers. Slight remodification of the back plate there, the under tray, taking a bit of a hit on one of the sandbag sections. Great crowd here in Cordoba. They're really desperate for this rally to get underway. And why not? Carlos Sainz always used to run very well here. I remember in the Citroen Zara in 2004, in the Ford Focus. Victory for him in 2002 as well. Used to belong this place to Tommy Mäkinen, it seemed, though, back in 96, 97, and then 98. 98, that famous run where McRae and Grist did their running repairs on the Subaru, bent a suspension strut and whacked it with a rock, repaired it, came home. Great story that was. So ACA, Argentine club, there's Autosport, nominated, points nominated, Marcus Legato. Favourite here surely has to be Federico Viagra. There he is, in the 60 car. In 2006, won the N4 class Viagra here in Argentina. So he's used to success and used to rising to the occasion. We'll see if he manages it here. I'm just looking at our timing, and I think we may well have enough time to see one more pairing after this, and then I think that will be a lot for this evening. At the split, they're tight together. Legato just with the edge for now. Well, you can almost blame the Race of Champions for making this the spectacle that it is these days. It always used to be, when they did the Super Specials, I remember Rally GB a few years ago, it's used to be kind of in some industrial park, and you didn't really get the same sort of stadium feel, but it's been perfected with the Race of Champions series that pitches drivers from different classes of motorsport together, kind of start the year off for us, motorsports-wise, or end of season, I should say, really, as a celebration, perhaps. And in fact, Wembley Stadium will be hosting it next time around after a good few years in the Stade Saint-Denis in France, Stade de France in the Saint-Denis district. Number of sparks there coming off the brake disc by the looks of things. Just trying to have another look. Whether he's got any problem with his calipers. Viagra and Legato then tight together here, and the line is approaching for them, and I think this might be our last pairing for you. Maybe squeeze in one more. It's going to be tight. 2:40 dead for Legato. Just 0.4 down the Agra. Crowd loved it. And look at that. Arms aloft, cheering their heroes. They've come out in their thousands tonight here in Cordoba. They've come down from the hills where they're all installed with their braziers to keep themselves warm. And it looks like we're going to run out of time on this one, and I think that will be just about it for us this evening. And look at the sparks are flying. Super run there by Legato. The Agra just missing out in that all-Argentina affair. If we do get one more, it'll be Andreas Aina and Patrick Flodin. And indeed, I think we might have to come away from this one, but we'll stay as long as we can. Andreas Aina in the Lancer, car number 47, up against Patrick Flodin in the 50. Well, they will be racing tomorrow, and you'll have the usual highlights programme. I imagine that we will be seeing an awful lot of the shenanigans with the weather and the transfer. It's a big story indeed, and the rain's coming down a lot harder right now as well. It may well explain why the times are just starting to drift away a little bit here in Cordoba. It's been one of those strange kind of days, really, that motorsport throws up occasionally, no matter what the series. Rallying, it seems, has suffered this time. But, well, as you can see from the response from the crowd that has turned out here in Cordoba, they love their rallying and they intend to see as much of it as they can over the next couple of days. Great fan base here. A lot of respect as well for all of the competitors. You don't get any kind of naughtiness, it seems, in Argentina. They really do behave as good as gold out there as they watch their heroes come by, and all of them are heroes to them. Oh, almost a roll. We've seen that a couple of times, just driving up the sandbanks. Flodin pushing it as hard as he possibly can. So Mitsubishi against Subaru, locked together their horns as they have been throughout. If you are a club racer, it really is, there's nowhere kind of else to go in terms of your money, because the cars are just so good and kind of ready to race, really. Red Bull sponsorship. Andreas Aina, the Austrian. Klaus Vicker is his German co-driver here. Red Bull's fingers just seem to be in massaging motorsport from the highest to the lowest levels, and they really have been a huge boost, benefit to motorsport in general. So much money into all kinds of driver development programs as well, and Andreas Aina part of that, the young Austrian, and I expect you may well see an awful lot more of him with that kind of backing that Red Bull give. We'll be seeing a lot of him in the future. It seems that sports-wise, Red Bull really have got it hooked together. 2:40.9, that was good by Flodin. 17th quickest overall. Not bad at all. So as we get underway tomorrow, don't forget, it'll be Mikko Ervinen who will lead us off. Tremendous drive by him. 2:31.7 this time around, quickest in Buenos Aires, and just so in control of his vehicle. Confirmation of how they stand after stage 9. Jari Latvala closest to Ervinen's time this time around. Sebastian Loeb and Chris Atkinson the nearest to him, but it's early days. Yes, we are on stage 9. Stages 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 missing due to logistical problems. And that's the way they're going to head off tomorrow when we start rallying proper here in Argentina. We head off into the hills. Cannot wait. Don't forget, Sunday evening, we'll have the last Super Special from right here. Well, that's the end of our live transmission here on Eurosport 2. From Cordoba, me, Carlton Kirby, thanks for your company. Hope to see you on Sunday. In the meantime, happy rallying. Bye-bye.